Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Varen. It has been a long time. It is an entirely new year now. It is February 2nd, 2024. And I'm back. And I'm going to start by being back with a planner stack list, my journal stack for 2024. Okay, so quickly, if you're new here, hi. I like to do videos about witchy journaling, which often includes tarot and astrology. Journaling is really where my heart lives and breathes. So if you want to check out videos that involve journaling, astrology, tarot, witchiness, this is a good place to be. Hit that subscribe button, blah, blah, blah. If you've been here before, I am so sorry that last year was chaotic and that I wasn't around. I haven't decided yet how much I want to share and whatnot. So there's just going to be this big awkward elephant in the room. Let's call him George. George is there and represents the fact that I was gone for a long ass period of time and now I'm just back as if nothing happened. Ta-da! This is me acknowledging George. Sorry about that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about it. Anyways, let's do this. It made sense in my brain to start with my journal stack for 2024. I don't quite know why, but this is where we are. So I have 3 journals or journal adjacent things that I am using this year, at least for right now. And we are going to start with my little Leuchtturm A5 1917 blah blah. So this is my Leuchtturm 1917 A5 size in this beautiful color. I don't know what they call it. I think they call it sunset actually. I call it dandelion. It reminds me of my favorite crayons when I was a kid. It was that beautiful dandelion yellow. When I bought this, I bought it at an event where they were doing embossing for free, so it has my name on it. And this is the 120 gram paper, which I was so excited about when I found it. I've been bullet journaling since 2016, and I started in an A5 and I loved it. And then for a while I was bullet journaling in a B5 size. If you're unfamiliar, that's this size. And that was really good. There, I fixed the light. And somehow I say somehow because truly I don't really quite understand what happened. I'm just going to prop that up. Somehow I ended up back in an A5. This is that A5. So this is my functional bullet journal, my everyday journal. Ever since trying to switch to an B5, and trying to change how I journaled naturally, for years the way I journaled was I had my A5 bullet journal, and then I had a separate journal for all my like witchy journaling stuff, which was also an A5, and I tried combining them and I just kept throwing wrenches in it. So ever since then, I've been trying to sort it out, and I've come back to where I started with some slight alterations. So my A5 journal is my bullet journal. I use this thing. I touch this every day. It lives on my desk. I did do a dedication page to my words of the year. I have 3 words of the year this year. Grounded, present, and purposeful. My card of the year, in case anyone is curious, is the Temperance card, which normally I record something. I like write down that it's my card somewhere, but I didn't. Whatever. Anyways, my card is the Temperance card. So I just did a intro page. This journal is not inherently about being witchy. So I don't use this to, oh gosh, my knee. I don't use this to do witchy stuff. What this is for is this keeps me functional. So the stuff that goes in here is my everyday stuff and my reference, the stuff that I need for my day-to-day life to help me keep going. I do have some witchy things here, like my year ahead spread. That's because I reference this a lot. So this time I set it up, the year starts here. I set it up like the astrological wheel that it is associated with. I do offer year ahead spread package readings. I never stopped doing my work and my readings. I just stopped YouTube. I have links down in the description box. And there's some exciting changes and developments coming up with a lot of that stuff. But so, and I'm a professional astrologer, so I work with the astrology a lot. So I lined this up with my chart. I am a Cancer rising, so Cancer is on this axis, and June is on June, and Capricorn is on this axis, and the new year starts in Capricorn season. So it goes around from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I have stickers from the Gentle Tarot to show what cards I pulled. I do not pull my year ahead spread with the Gentle Tarot. I pull it with the Star Seeker Tarot. This is my very beloved deck. I should probably get a backup at some point. But this is a very well-loved deck. My book is falling apart. Whole bunch of pages. It is just absolutely falling apart. But it is my much, much, much beloved deck. I use that. But I don't have stickers that correspond with that, and I wanted the stickers, so I use that. I also like to use the Extended Gentle Tarot Guidebook to write down the affirmation that goes with each card of the month. So January, I had the Queen of Wands, and the affirmation in the Extended Gentle Tarot Guidebook is, I share my creative magic with the world around me, I make my own way, and I thrive. So there's that. I also created this spread for the moons of 2024. I put this one in here because I record all my tarot draws throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, I go full dork, full autistic, joyful dorkiness, and I see which card I pulled the most of, which suit I pulled the most of, and I do like data analysis. So I have here the moons for the year, so I can record the cards I pulled. Here are my moon returns, which I actually forgot to do. So I'm just going to quickly do that. So in this, I write, for my moon returns, I pull a Songs of the Grandmother card. I, again, record my daily cards. I don't know what to do with this, or not my daily cards. My apologies. I record the cards I pulled with that reading. I don't know what to do with this side. Maybe write like kind of what it's about. But the cards I pulled for this one were the Four of Pentacles and the Sun. So there's that. I have my trackers. I track my cycle. I track my wife's migraines and body pain and my daily tarot pulls. I pulled it all the way back to basics. I'm not even really doing a theme. And then we're right into January. So we'll just show you where we're at so far. For January, it seemed like my cards were about having a self-sovereignly built life. So building a life based on my sovereignty. My name being Varen, sovereign, so Varen, it works. So I started doing that as a joke. And I just picked a color scheme. I did start doing some like tracking of things. Ideally, I want to do these things every day. I have my calendar where I track medications I take, my gratitude log, my victories log, my memories log, and my brain dump. This is really great because I had been trying and had not successfully filled anything. And as soon as I got back in my A5, it was like riding a bike. I have my dailies. Have my weekly spreads. It's been a really good time. And then hereabouts, I tried with my members. So I do have YouTube channel membership. That has still kept trucking along. And with my YouTube channel members, we're likely moving forward going to be just doing behind the scenes stuff. Where like I hop on live and hang out and work on my journal with them. So I was trying to do some reflections. I'm not sure how well this actually worked. I think the problem with this is that my brain edits things as I go, so I don't know how well this actually works. But here's February. My card for February, annoyingly, is the Eight of Cups. I'm really not quite, I'm no about it. And I want it to be encouraging, so I just wrote a little message to myself. I always like to put a quote or a message to myself on one half as a title page, and I wrote, the only things I have to let go of are the things that don't serve my heart and soul. It's February. We just did little doodles. Same setup as before. Memories, gratitude, victories, brain dump. My brain dump's fairly empty. I'll talk to you about why in a second. And then I'm trying to do some money tracking. And then here's my dailies. And that's it in this journal. Except for in the back, I have a couple spreads that I added. This is what I like to do. If I have long-term collections that I like to add to my journal, I don't like to put them, I don't really bother with indexing. What I like to do is I put my long-term collections, I just flip to the back of my journal and I build them there. So that way at the front I have long-term collections, at the back I have long-term collections, and the middle is just the meat. So what I started doing, I've been really, one of the things I really love about this, I don't know why this size makes it different from my brain, but it does. But one of the things I really love about this size is that I do the cycling. So everything touches my daily page. And I put everything there. And then at the end of the day, I decide if the things, if they've been done, if they need to get moved to the next day, or if they need to get moved back to the most recent weekly. And here I have the list. I am going to be editing this, but a little bit. But I move them to the weekly. And then at the end of the week, I go through this and I say, okay, is this still something I want to do ASAP? So it should stay on my weekly, like I want to get it done this week. Or do I want to put it into my monthly brain dump? And then when yesterday, because it was the 1st of February, I'm filming this on the 2nd. Yesterday, I went through my brain dump and I looked for all the stuff. I didn't end up doing this at all. But I looked through all the stuff and I determined where to put it. If it has one forward arrow, I just moved it to either the weekly or my daily. If it has 2 forward arrows, I moved it to one of the lists in the back. And then if it had, this wasn't applicable, but on the weeklies, let's find a previous weekly that shows it preferably. Here. So this weekly, I had some completed tasks with the X. I had some things that moved forward, and I had a couple of things that I decided, okay, I still want to do those, but I don't want to do them immediately. So I put them onto my brain dump. And then at the end of the month, I went through my January brain dump and I decided everything got either put into the weekly, onto my daily, or in the back. I have a witchy ideas list now. I have just a big list. This is for just any tasks. The only differentiation is these are specifically like, these are witchy things I want to do. This is everything else. So I have those 2 task lists, and I really like doing it that way. So daily I'm checking through and I'm checking things off in my mind or deciding this is still important. I don't actually give a shit about this, etc. And then, so I'm deciding that daily, and then weekly I'm also deciding that more thoroughly with like, okay, this thing keeps getting moved forward. And it's just kind of, it's that process with bullet journaling that really helps keep my brain running better and helps me remember things better. And then now I have a place to put these ideas. And the cool thing about our human brain, for at least for most of us, I believe, is that if you know you have a container that will help you remember the things, they can stop repeating in your head as much. So like, because I have a reliable place to write down the staple, to write down that I need to buy staples for the staple gun, I don't need to, my brain doesn't need to actively remember it. My plan is every month when I am populating this list with new ideas to go through and just do a quick check-in to be like, do I still want to do this? And then obviously every time I set up a new journal, that's another check-in point. So I have those 2 lists, and then I have this spread, which I liked. I did at the end of the year. Last year I found I was struggling to remember like what happened. So I created this spread. Even though I have a memories log, I was struggling with like big things. So I created this spread so I could write down the big things that happened each month and remember them. So that's my bullet journal. That's that one. And then we have my, don't quite know what to call it, quite honestly. I guess it's like my Book of Shadows. Anyways, this is my Witchy Journal. So pretty much my Book of Shadows. At least the way what I used to call my Book of Shadows functions. But for some reason I don't feel like calling this my Book of Shadows now. I don't know. I always indicate how many squares there are on each page. So I started to set this up thinking it was going to be my journal until I decided to move to my A5. So either way, though, I'm glad with the pages. So I set this up to be my intention page. And this is really what I love, because I'm really learning and understanding on a new level that 90% of the magic I do and my spirituality comes through in journaling. And I very much believe that just the intention behind doing something sets it. Like I heard in one of Kellyanne Maddox's videos about witchy mindsets, I'll link it up above in the cards, that like the act of simply doing something from the thought of I'm a witch and I'm doing this as a witch is all that is needed to doing something from the place of I'm a witch and I am doing this act as a witch makes it magic. And so I like to do stuff like this. So I picked my 3 words of the year: grounded, present, purposeful. Up here I wrote the definitions, and then here I wrote like an intention of why I want to do this. So I like that. I also did this again was when I thought this was going to be my regular journal. I did a seasonal check-in for winter, which I do like to do. I think this is going to be a goal-related thing for me. I'm not 100% sure, and I can't say much on it because my goal work runs with my annual perfection year, which is a different astrological thing. But so what I did here was I titled it Winter. The houses in my chart that are associated with winter are my 7th, 8th, and 9th house. That will be different in everyone's chart. It'll be the houses that are attached to the signs that are for that season. In the Northern Hemisphere, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces is winter season, roughly speaking, because climate change and global warming. So for me, those houses are Capricorn is my 7th house, Aquarius is my 8th house, Pisces is my 9th house. So I did a check-in on how I feel about those areas of my life. I pulled a card for each. This one I did use the Gentle Tarot. I wrote down, referenced what my 9th house perfection goal has been. I did like a progress check-in. I was trying to, the idea was like applying my goal and looking at the different areas of my life and how I need to support that goal to build the goal. Goal setting is a thing I love, and it's also a thing that is hard for me to find the way for it to work. I'm hopeful that this year we're going to make some progress on that. We'll circle back. But this was that attempt. I did my year ahead spread. It's the exact same, just bigger scale as this one, and I like how it looks better on the smaller scale, minus my writing's a little messy, but that's fine. I'm not mad that this is in here, but I'm not going to reference it in here really. And then I have some tarot journaling. This was the Cancer Capricorn new moon cycle. I do work with the moon cycles. I don't work just strictly from new moon to new moon. I work with new moon and a connected full moon. For example, the new moon in January was a Capricorn new moon. The full moon that followed it was a Leo full moon. Leo and Capricorn are not connected like that in astrology, because the whole thing with the full moon, new moon cycle is that the new moon is when the sun and the moon line up, and the full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon. Because of the way my brain works and what makes sense to me and how much I love astrology, I don't work with the moon. Like, I couldn't work with the Capricorn new moon followed by the Leo full moon, because that Leo full moon is not connected to the Capricorn new moon in my brain. The Leo full moon is connected to the Aquarius new moon, which is coming up. I make sure the signs line up, not just the moon phases, is essentially what I mean. I will try and think of words and explain it better in a separate video if that would be of interest to people. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, so here's some moon journaling. But this was where I was still kind of, I was in between and getting a feel. This was my moon return. I do some random journaling, some more random journaling, a blank page. This is really fun. This is where I started to get the swing of it. And this is my weekly reading. So I'm doing this every week and I really love it. So on Saturday, I sit down and I do a reading where I reflect on how I'm feeling. I pull a card for mentally I feel, emotionally I feel, physically I feel, spiritually I feel, currently I need. Mentally I need, emotionally I need, physically I need, spiritually I need, currently I feel. So this is like, on Saturday I sit down and it's like, okay, I'm just finishing a week. How am I doing? This is my check-in on myself. And then on Sunday, I pull cards from the Illustrated Crystallary, Herbiary, Bestiary, and a Wisdom of the Divine Shadow and the Wisdom of the Shadow and Wisdom of the Divine Feminine card to future cast and see how Sunday's gonna look. And so I do a 2-page spread for that. So this is the Saturday one. This is the Sunday one. And I really like that. I did some journaling. Here, again, is another weekly. And then otherwise, this journal is just, it's my Book of Shadows. It's my Witchy Journal. So I do whatever I want in it that feels appropriate. This is me trying to get a feel for the seasons. The seasons are a huge thing for me in my chart, and I just always feel it very strongly because I have such strong cardinal placements in my chart. My sun sign is in a cardinal sign, my moon sign is in a cardinal sign, my rising sign is in a cardinal sign, which means my descendant is in the other cardinal sign. I'm a cardinal. I'm a seasonal person. Anyway, so I made this. I got some stickers for Christmas. Look at that. Isn't it great? I also have done a lot of organizing work, and that's been really great too. Some journaling, and here we go. Here's the newest thing. So I really still want to, for a while I was journaling, and I tried doing my journals purely by the sun season. So when it was Aquarius season or Pisces season or Aries season, and I liked that, but it wasn't working functionally. But with having a book specifically to keep me functional and a book that just lets me be my witchy self, I can do both. So this has calendar year based stuff, and this is where I do other stuff. So here's my dedication page to Aquarius. I don't know if I'm going to use the same format every month, but this is where I did my predictions for Aquarius season according to my year ahead spread. If you do want to know more about my year ahead spread, I'll link my video up above in the cards all about year ahead spreads. That's my baby. Go check it out. So I did my predictions for Aquarius season. The way I work with it is like the last 10-ish days of a month are always the beginning of the new sun sign season. So Aquarius season started January 20th and it goes till February 17th. There you go. So there's like a 10-day transition period. So I did my brain, I did my predictions, and then down here I did a little chart rating how I felt about each area of my life when I started this, based on the houses. Here I did my full moon reading, full moon in Leo, and here I'm going to do my new moon in Aquarius reading when it is time. I already have my new moon in Aquarius card pulled because I did that year ahead spread style too. I might talk about that stuff more in upcoming videos. I'm still feeling out what I want to do. And then here's my moon return reading from yesterday. At the time I am filming this, I did this, sorry, not yesterday. I did this 2 days ago on the 31st. And that's all there is in this. So that's that. And then the last one's super easy and super fast. Look at this. Ignore the fact that it picks up a lot of fingerprints really badly. This is a Honeycomb Co. personal almanac. I will link them down in the description. I adore them. I decided to get it in hardcover. And besides the fact that it picks up all these fingerprints, I'm obsessed. Something about having this in hardcover has made me absolutely fucking joyous. So first, I did do a bit of modding. So I don't know if you can tell, but I cut finger holes. I was going to do tabs, but how they do this, and I'm not going to do a whole flip through of this, but how they do this is all of these pages, all of the pages associated with January have this little print that says January. So I kept the last page that had it and cut out the rest. And then I have quick find finger tabs to find my place. This is my astrology almanac. So, and then at the back, these are inner planet transits. These are the lunar charts, which I'm pleased that I'm actually using. And then here is the ephemeris, which I do reference for work. So here's February. I don't really do anything with this as of yet. But I also got this very late in the month January, so who knows, I might end up doing something, like maybe I'll take notes on someone else's predictions on here. That's cool. Here's my calendar. So what I am doing though, so blue ones, even though you can't see them very well, are moon transits. Yellow ones are transits that are associated with my Time Lord, which is an astrology thing I work with. My Time Lord currently is Jupiter until my birthday, and then it becomes Mars. My plan is to use this to just kind of, A, for reference for the information, and B, otherwise to get to know myself and my patterns and how astrology impacts me more personally. The gray ones are ones involving our personal transits involving the moon. So we've got, sorry, let me start again. The blue ones are the moon moving from one sign to the next and the new moons and full moons. The green ones are the ingresses and stations, like when a planet moves from one side to another, or when a planet stations direct or stations retrograde. Those are the green ones. Those are things that are impacting everybody. The pink ones are ones that stand out to me, both personal transits and transits that are impacting everybody, that I want to just kind of keep an eye on. So here, this is Venus in the sky is squaring Chiron in the sky. This is what everyone's experiencing. Here, this is Venus in the sky is opposing my rising sign. This is a personal transit. You can see that the ink back here, is black versus the ink here is lighter. That's because this was blue and then I highlighted it pink. The gray ones are my personal transits that involve the moon. Whether it's the moon it's mostly the moon impacting me, or it's things impacting my moon. I track those ones because I'm a Cancer rising sign, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. That makes the moon my chart ruler. Then we have yellow ones are the ones that are based on my Time Lords. They're what I'm currently paying attention to planetary-wise. Currently, it's Jupiter and Mars. And that's that. And then I actually started doing stuff on the weekly. So I highlighted things on the weekly. So far, what I'm trying is tracking physical manifestations of things. I'm tracking my energy level. I'm tracking my energy level, and I'm writing if there's any physical stuff that goes on. The idea being, hopefully one day I'll look back at this and I'll start to be able to see patterns, like maybe when Mars rules energy. That's one of the things that is under, like, that Mars brings to the table is our energy and our motivation. So I might notice over time that when Mars moves through Pisces, I have low motivation. I do know that when other things are in Pisces, my motivation is low because of the fact that Pisces is square Mars. This is complicated astrology stuff. The basis of this is I'm using this to track. I'm using this to do astrology. Currently, I'm trying to track to notice physical manifestation patterns, so that way I can, take care of myself. It's all empty, which is very exciting, except for the only other thing I did here was for the full moon, where I wrote, I wrote my card. B, I wrote the other cards I pulled. and I just kind of wrote what I feel like this moon cycle, the Leo full moon into the Aquarius new moon, what that's going to look like, because the full moon goes into new moon and then the new moon goes to full, and also Leo and Aquarius are connected because here's Leo and here's Aquarius. And that is it. Those are my journals. The only other thing I have is this. Oh God, that looks so damn good on camera. This is empty so far. This is an A5 Aries Journal. She thick. I haven't done a pen test or anything in it yet. I've just been staring at it lovingly. I found this on Amazon and I had to have it, and they have one for every sign. Amazon doesn't currently have one for every sign in stock, but I went searching and found them on the actual like creator website. I think this is going to be where I do all of my annual perfection goal work in depth. I'm still going to put references and things in my other journals, but I think this is where I'm going to do the really deep diving, the reflecting, all things related to my annual perfection year. And my annual perfection year that's starting is Aries. So, and because this is so thick, my hope is that I will have the collection of all of them, and they will each get filled bit by bit through the course of over who knows how many years. But the idea being, this is my Aries journal, so this is going to be dedicated to my 10th house work. It's going to get a lot of action this year because it's my annual perfection year. I'll talk more about that probably in a video when it comes closer, but look at how beautiful. And that's it. Those are my journals. We did it. We did the first video back. I'm not really feeling very good. I'm not going to do a huge big buy. There's the like button. There's a subscribe. There's the links. There's the everything. You've been on YouTube. You know the drill. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. Please say hi in the comments down below. I would love to chat and know if you're here. So yeah, I will see you again soon. I don't know for what video. We will figure it out together though. Sending lots of love. Thank you for coming. Lots of love. Bye.